Alrighty, welcome to America's podcast. Today we have on.
Savannah Brister.
How's it going, Savannah?
Pretty good.
Good, good. So I guess Rachel found you on Instagram and decided to have you on because you apparently got some pipes on you.
I like to sing.
Yeah. So how long you been singing?
I would say, most people would say when I was a baby, but I started really getting into it when I was around 13 years old.
Really? Okay. And how old are you now?
I'm 19.
Okay. Me and Rachel were actually having this conversation, but we were wondering how old you are. And she was like, I'm going to say early 20s max. And I was like, what if she's like 15?
You never know.
You got one of those faces, though. Like,
I do.
Some people are like, they look like they could be 12 or 22. You know what I mean? So at least, you'll probably be looking young for most of your life.
Yeah,
so.
I hope.
Yeah, you got that going for you. So what's the exciting things going on for you right now? I know you've been on a roller coaster. I saw your stuff from The Voice. That was pretty awesome. So
thank you.
How's everything now?
I would say, this year obviously has been a little weird.
Yeah, I'm sure. As far as like performances, tours, and all that kind of stuff, like it's hard to get into any kind of venue. But I had on Adam McClellan. I don't know if you know him, but he goes to the Slider Inn a lot. That's where he likes to perform at. And I think Ashton Riker has been at...
Ashton! Oh, yeah.
I think he's been at Slider Inn a good bit. So
that's cool.
I had him on a while back. But yeah, are you going anywhere, like performing around here? Or?
Just now, like within the past month, thankfully, things have started picking up a little bit. Like I'm not getting my hopes up too much because, you never know.
Yeah.
But I still, I think this year has been really cool though because I found it's very hard for me to be creative when I'm super, super busy playing a lot. And this year, everything came to a very, very quick stop.
Yeah.
But it kind of gave my brain room to breathe for a second. So I really, really got into the writing and did this thing called Songwriter Sunday where I forced myself, if I couldn't before then, to write a song on Sunday and post it. And some of the weirdest stuff came out, but I was like, I'm going to write a song every single Sunday. And that just kind of kept me going until now. And now I'm doing one thing, a songwriter night at the Halloran Center right next to the Orpheum.
Okay.
I think in December. And one really cool thing that's going on right now, I'm playing in people's backyards and just going. And I was talking to my manager. I was like, hey, we could do the backyard tour. Just hit up everyone we know.
That would be really cool, though.
It'd be cool. I think it's, you can approach this year with two different things. You can be really negative about it or really positive about it. And I think it's a great time just to get creative. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, a backyard tour. That'd be pretty cool.
Backyard tour, right?
So how are you getting those booked? Is it just like word of mouth? Or?
It just happened. A friend of mine was like, hey, we are bored out of our minds. And they don't have kids and they're in their 30s. And they're like, can you just come play and we'll get our friends to come and throw a $10 for you and a hat and you can bring. And I was like, sure. I was just thirsty to play. I would play for free, but I went and did that. Now that's kind of become a normal thing. And we're already talking to other people and be like, hey, can we come? Thinking of people that live on a body of water. You can really get cool footage and stuff, especially in this day and age with all the virtual things. So I don't know. I'm excited. It's a idea floating around in my head.
That's awesome. I haven't heard anything like it, so I'm sure it's going to do well. Especially in the Memphis area where are you from here?
Yeah.
Okay,
born and
so
raised,
I bet that helps you out a lot.
Yeah.
I'm actually not from here,
really?
So I'm actually. With all the people that I have on the podcast, none of them know who I am. So, so it's not like I'm, just connecting with people that I've already previously talked to or they've heard of me or anything. So it's just a bunch of random people. So I bet that really helps you out doing that backyard type thing because it's, this is where you're from. You might have some locals. So that's a really cool opportunity.
Yeah, yeah.
So what is your manager really doing for you as far as your music career? How are they involved?
Currently, right now, she helped me a bunch book up all the gigs that were canceled.
Oh man!
But right now, it's more so she's the bomb, and I call her more my mentor just because I text her, I'm like, what do you think of this idea? What do you think? And it's been like a gradual thing. But right now we're just kind of running around ideas. I'm thinking about doing an EP. I've thought about it for the last year or two. And
what makes you think about it?
What
makes you on the fence about it?
Yeah, I think I'm very much so a perfectionist, and I really, I released a single in April, and it's the first single where I'm like, this is the artist I want to be. This is what I want to do. And so now I feel like figuring out where I want to live in the music world. I really want to take my time picking out the songs and like picking the producers and doing all those things. So I think at the beginning of this year, I was like, it's going to happen this year. And then this happened. But I'm kind of thankful it did because it really gave me time to do all the writing and everything. Who knows? It could be next year. But I'm really allowing myself, I think, at this point to be patient and just kind of enjoy the process of things.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's an up and down battle when it comes to like, how do you please your fans? You know what I mean? Like you have to figure out what do they want? You know what I mean? And at the same time, you have to battle, what do I want to do? So, God.
I know.
And I know. What is something that helps you, I guess, figure out your fans? Because I mean, with what exactly would you say is the type of music that you do?
I'm definitely an R&B soul artist, very Memphis. And I would say, especially this year, just honestly, social media and kind of posting things, experimenting. They really, really did like the original songs that I did and got really into that. I had a bunch of my fans say, I have like my notifications on now. I'm like, I'm ready to go every single Sunday. I'm like, yes. And every now and then I'll do a cover. I think just experiment and play around. I think a lot of them have been with me since I started releasing music, I think when I was 16. And so I think a lot of them have kind of grown up with me over the past few years. So it's kind of cool to just continue experimenting and figuring out what they like. And I'm all about the Spotify for artists thing. I like seeing that and seeing what they like to listen to. Yeah. So that's helped out a bunch this year as well. Yeah, that Spotify for artists really helps out. Cool. Yeah. It's really cool. Do you have they've got the Apple for artists. Have you gotten that? I have not. And it's so funny you said that because I just talked about that today. I was like, I really need to get that and start working on that too. Yep. They've got, what is it? Apple for artists. And then there's one more. I can't think of what it is, but yeah, they're starting to pump. Oh, Amazon Music for artists. Oh, really? Yeah, they've got that out I need now. To write these down. Yeah. Let's see. I think Amazon is doing some things. There's some podcasts I should put you on that are talking about like the things that are going on in the music industry. Yeah. And Amazon is trying to take another step into being one of those, I guess, distributors or whatever, because they so if you were going to buy music online, like where would you buy music? To be honest, I haven't bought music in so long. Exactly. So it's been so long. Yeah. So I was telling the last person I had on the podcast. Who was I talking to? Who was the last person I had on the podcast? Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank. Well, I know I was talking to Matt Montreal about it. Yeah. And, Tori. Jesus. Yeah. But I was talking to both of them about like buying music, and Amazon is one of the places where you can buy music. Like the two places I could think of were Amazon and the Google Play Store. Yes. Which Google Play just got rid of their music. Yeah. So like they don't have music anymore. It's now just YouTube music. But Bandcamp. Yeah. So Bandcamp, that's a big one, and then Amazon, and then the Google Play. Those are like the three big ones I knew that were super easy to just like go on the site, go buy music. So I think Amazon will really benefit from taking advantage of that because I mean, you can stream music from them and buy music from them. That's something that Spotify doesn't have. Or, Pandora is more like radio and stuff like that. So being as in that was their like main name is Pandora, like radio. So that was huge back in the day, but like now that we have Spotify, we know that we can just I think Pandora, the frustrating thing about that was like
you would go to click on a person or a song. Like if you wanted to listen to some song by Beyonce, whatever it was, if you clicked on it, it would play like a radio station by it. It would never play the song you wanted.
That song. I remember that.
Like maybe if you bought it, it probably still wouldn't play that song. They wanted you to listen to it for hours. So, but that's the difference between them and like Spotify. Spotify, you just, if you want to listen to a song, you just play that song. If you have a subscription to it, you can play whatever song you want, whenever you want. So that's something that Amazon can really take advantage of is not only can you play that music, but you can buy that music. I think that, you know, people will probably catch on to that maybe in the future. But as far as, you know, being an artist, like that's something that you can, you know, tell your people about. Like, hey, go to this site, and not only can you listen to my music, you can buy it. Do you do that with Bandcamp?
I just now, and I can't even remember why I had to post one of my songs on Bandcamp. But I just now that single, that's the first thing I posted on there. So I don't push it enough, probably. I do push the Spotify thing a lot. I'm like, get those listeners, go follow.
Yeah. Because it's easy, right?
It's easy, and people, I feel like, are more apt to do that. And another thing that I've noticed, while like you get a lot of people to follow and unfollow on social media, I think on Spotify, if you follow a person on Spotify, you're never going to unfollow that person.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I that's my mentality when I go there. So I'm like, I will have a fan for life. They're stuck with me now.
Absolutely. So like, how do you, what is your main social media thing? Is it Instagram, Twitter?
Instagram.
Yeah.
I love it and I hate it. It's a love-hate relationship.
So why do you love it and then why do you hate it?
I really like photography. I feel like a lot of artists like photography. I don't know why, but it's just part of our brain, and I like expressing myself in that way, and it's really quick, and I can show them my dogs or something really quick on stories. I think social media does not come naturally to me. I've watched some other friends of mine, and they're just so good at just immediately when something happens, they get their phone out and they're like, and that's just not my first reaction. And so I'm having to train myself to start doing that more because I know that's what my fans like.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I don't like it, because it feels sometimes like another job, but I still enjoy it. I don't know. It's weird. So I think it's just a matter of me forcing myself again to like continue doing it and just having fun with it. I think that was the main purpose it was created for anyways, just for us to connect. And this year has been great because we were disconnected, and it gave a great way for me to continue doing my thing and connecting with my fans.
I mean, the way Instagram started compared to what it is now.
Yeah, I know.
It's like it's a different app.
It is.
Because I mean,
really
it started out for photographers.
Yeah.
And then it turned out to be some sort of self-advertising app where people, like the users are the ads. So I mean, we're basically just marketing ourselves to people through Instagram, which is pretty wild.
Right. Now, how do you feel about TikTok?
Okay, so I don't like TikTok.
Okay.
But I could see why somebody who is a creator or somebody who enjoys that kind of things would like it.
Yeah.
I think that Instagram is the ultimate app for creators because Instagram steals everybody's ideas.
Yeah.
And they're really good at it. So that tells me that Instagram's the ultimate app.
Yeah.
Because it can take whatever other apps are doing and then do it on Instagram. So when we had the filters, that started on Snapchat. And then
yes, you're right.
And then Instagram was like, oh, we'll do filters. And then everybody was like, oh, snap, I can just do everything on Snapchat that I can do on Instagram.
Yeah.
And then boom. And then actually no, it started out with what was it? The stories. Snapchat had stories and Instagram didn't. And then Instagram stole the stories from Snapchat. I
forgot about that.
And then they stole the filters.
Yeah.
And then TikTok came along, and TikTok was like, yo, we're a completely different app. Let's go. And then so they took over the social media storm, and then Instagram was like, how about these reels?
Yep.
So now Instagram has reels that are just like TikTok.
Just like it.
And I'm just like, holy crap. But the funny thing is, Facebook hasn't changed.
No.
It changes, but
Yeah.
it's still the same concept. Like they don't make any huge moves.
Yeah.
And Facebook owns Instagram.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, I don't know, being the older brother and then like you just keep getting new stuff, but you just give it to your younger brother. You don't even take it for yourself.
That's what works, yeah.
Very unselfish of Facebook.
Yes.
But I'm very impressed
Yeah.
that Instagram has that ability to just continuously take other people's ideas and do well.
Do well.
Like, I think I was looking at some of the numbers of the reels, and people are getting millions of views on these reels, and I'm just like, what's the point of TikTok now? What is the point? But I mean, do you use TikTok?
I do, and I did. It was one of my other quarantine things where I was like, I'm going to make a TikTok every day.
Every day?
I didn't successfully. Successfully. It started, and then like by day 2, I was like, this is not going to work. But I think it was really good for artists for a time. I don't know if you know the guy, entrepreneur named Gary Vee.
Yeah.
But he was one of the first people, like right when the app came out, he was like, everybody go get on this app. Yeah,
he was telling everybody to get on TikTok.
And I didn't really get on it. And what was so funny, The Voice too, The Voice told us to get the app. They're like,
they told you to get a TikTok?
Yeah. They were like, get a TikTok. And they were more so giving advice of like, hey, you're going to want to build the online presence thing. And I was a dumb teenager, and I looked at my friends. I was like, "Hey, what?" I didn't even know what it was. I was like, "Hey, what's TikTok?" And they're like, "It's stupid. Don't get it." And I so wish I got it. Because who knows? Who knows how many? Like I could have been TikTok or whatever they call it, TikTok famous.
Yeah.
But I think it was so cool because all of these independent artists rose to the top, like immediately.
Yeah.
And so I think for all of us, we were like, oh, this is possible. You can get a #1 and be, not have a label, not have anything going on. So I think it was cool. Now, it is now obviously oversaturated. So you'd have to have like a massive hit and you blow up real quickly. But I think now the next time, I think for any lesson to have learned from this, the next time Gary Vee tells you to
Absolutely.
to get an app, you get that app.
Absolutely. I mean, the dude, he doesn't miss. Like,
no,
he'll show you videos of like when he predicted something was going to be big and he predicted when something was going to crash.
Yep.
And to me, I think TikTok is going to decline drastically. I was almost right too early when Trump was going to ban TikTok.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I hit this on the nail early.
Now.
But I think it's some company that starts with a Q. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like them and Microsoft were supposed to like have like a joint.
I know what you're talking about. Is it Quibi?
It might be.
I don't know.
It might be.
I may have just made a word. I don't know.
Screw it. Yeah. Fake news. But yeah, they were supposed to have like some joint venture to like acquire TikTok to get rid of the whole like Chinese scandal and stealing the information thing. So I don't know. Maybe it'll last, but to me, Instagram is literally killing other apps. Like, I mean, do you use Snapchat?
Not as much as Instagram.
Okay. So yeah, see right there. Like I used to use Snapchat and then it just didn't really appeal to me the way maybe Instagram does. So but yeah, with TikTok I don't know. It's just too much entertainment for me. Does that make sense?
It is a lot of stuff. Like there's not a second you waste before you get to the next thing.
Like on Instagram, I'm constantly on producer pages and like helpful hints on like physical therapy, athletes and stuff like that. So I'm constantly looking at that kind of stuff. I don't really look at too many like funny things and like entertainment type stuff. I use it as like a tool to like educate myself and like find new artists and especially with the podcast, I find new people that are in this area and stuff like that. So TikTok doesn't appeal to me. Have you ever heard of what's his name? Rick Barker.
Yes.
So
yes.
I found Rick Barker, I think through Instagram. It might have been a Facebook ad. I can't
Yeah.
remember. But he doesn't like TikTok. He thinks TikTok is stupid. But he understands. He's just like me. Like, we both think it's stupid, but he understands how powerful it can be. Like it can skyrocket your career.
Yeah.
But another thing about TikTok to me is you would have to have the type of music that people are going to use.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I mean, do you think that would benefit you at all?
I got to that point too because I watched, and right now I think a lot of hip hop and rap and kind of indie pop stuff is really, really hitting right now. And
because it's dance music.
It's dance music.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, even my fast stuff isn't that kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So I did kind of think about it. I was like, is this even gonna, is this even work? So I do think you need to kind of take it as that is and just, I think it can be beneficial. Another Gary Vee thing, I'm a huge fan. He's just like create content. So I think that does help where if I post an acoustic thing of me doing my song, I can then post it on Instagram, post it on, and just create a bunch of things. And I still have like, I think this is going to sound so sad. I have like 150 fans on TikTok. So it's still kind of getting your name out there. But I don't know. I do think it's kind of a toss-up. I think, especially since it was such a big thing this year, and this year has been so weird, I can so see people canceling it. And just saying, we're done with TikTok. We're moving on to the next thing. So that could definitely happen. Who knows?
So what about Facebook? How are you on Facebook?
I need to be more involved with Facebook. I have a lot of fans on Facebook. I have a pretty older fan base on there, and then I just started with The Voice acquiring a younger fan base. So I think that's funny. But
do you have the artist page and do you have like your personal page? Okay.
And I need to work on it more. I need to figure out how to do more of that like I do Instagram because I do a lot of Instagram.
Yeah.
It's a struggle. But I think I'm just now starting to figure out like different things, and you seriously can post like the same thing on every single platform. I think it's just a matter of answering everyone and doing that. And I sound so opposite of a normal teenager. But
so how do you go about like the answering people? Are you flooded with messages or more comments? How are you interacting with people?
Yes.
Yes, both.
Yes, both. Especially during The Voice. After coming off The Voice, like that's the highest my social media has ever been. And I think I was very involved in it at that point because that was a part where it was fun. It wasn't like I was just like sharing stuff that was going on. And I think obviously that kind of wore off, and eventually I kind of fell back into the swing of life and everything. But I'll do this thing with Facebook where I'll go like a good 2-3 weeks without doing anything with it. Like I'll have it on Instagram where I'm posting it on my artist page. You know how you can like swipe post on Facebook? And so I'll be posting stuff, but I won't go check Facebook. So then my fans have literally made fun of me. I will go and I'll just have one like binge day where I just answer everybody for like the past month.
Oh, wow.
And they're like, Savannah, you're insane. But I try my best to go back and comment back with everyone. And I tell most people, hey, if you like really, really want to like contact me, just text me. That's the best way to go with me. Yeah. But yeah.
How are you getting in contact with, so have you done any like features or stuff like that on actual tracks?
I will say this summer, I went to Jacksonville. One of my voice buddies, he's creating a gospel album right now, and I'm so excited. We record something there, and he tentatively is planning on releasing next year. So I'm excited.
Okay. So how are you, if somebody wanted to, I guess, communicate with you, what would be the best way for them to do it?
I'd say Instagram DMs.
Really?
same way Rachel did.
Yeah.
So always go there. I always answer those within like at least 24 to 48 hours. So that's my favorite app. I could be on that thing all day long.
Yeah, I was talking to Tori about, I had Luis on. Do you know Luis Page?
That sounds familiar. I don't know.
I had her on, and when I asked her to come on the podcast, I messaged her on Instagram, but she was like, "Hey, send me an email." And like what she said, I was like, "An email? What?
Yeah.
I'm messaging you right now. Why do I have to send you something else?" But she said that she knows it's legit if you send her an email because like so many people will like message her on Instagram or something, and they don't really follow through with it. So they might just really be trying to hang out or something like that. Yeah. They're not really trying to have that business interaction. So I was like, oh, all right. It makes sense.
I like my emails. I check my emails.
I love emails.
Like 2 or 3 times a day. I will say, out of everything, that is definitely the way.
Yeah. I mean, because you can fit so much information. You can throw links in there. And, that's why emails is very efficient to me. I've got a friend down in Dallas, Flight Pilot D, and he's always like making fun of me because I'm always talking about emails, and he's like, "Dude, what is up with you and emails?" I'm like, "Dude, it's the most efficient way to communicate with people because you can type out as much as you need to. You can throw links in there, you can throw pictures in there, files, whatever. Like you can't do that on just Instagram or whatever. So especially like a comment, you know what I mean? Like I guess you can like copy paste a link through a DM or something like that, but I don't know.
It is more work.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So what about Twitter? Are you on Twitter?
I am on Twitter. I'm not.
See, that's how you blow up is Twitter.
Twitter. No, I will say I'm starting. I don't think I'm good at engaging with other people on Twitter. I think that it's a matter of that because it's more conversation on there.
Yeah.
So I think it's a matter of me kind of getting that down. I do post things every now and then. I'll think I'm funny and I'll post something I'm not funny at all. I'll be like, "Here's my dog, rough," and I don't know, but I'm starting. I think this year of all years, it's really forced me to be like social media, and so I'm starting. Yeah. I think to finally learn where I can live on each of these crazy apps.
So how do you manage your like artist life with your personal life when it comes to like all the apps?
Well, I don't have a life. That's how
there you go. Just cancel the life, so you're good.
Great. All business. That's it. I think I do it. I would say I'm probably 80% business on there and 20% personal.
Okay.
That's just because what comes out. Most of my personal stuff, like if I have a family photo, like on my mom's birthday, I'll post a picture of mom, but most of the time it's just music because it's what I do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's just whatever you're feeling in the moment. If you feel all vulnerable and stuff, we all have those little, things where we feel like we should just share what's going on. But most of the time, it's like, here's a song. So I don't know.
So how is, I guess, your friends and family when it comes to, the musical part of you?
Yeah.
Is there a big, I guess, are people interacting with you when it comes to that as far as like, you got some friends from high school that they're always like supporting you or family members? How does that work?
I have a heck of a team. I mean, they really, really do support me. I still have my old high school buddies, and we were actually friends in middle school. We've been friends forever, and they're always at my gigs. I remember I have a picture of all of my friends. It was my very, very first gig when I was 13 years old, and they all came and showed up, and I have a selfie of all of us just hanging out, and I'm a little chick, but I really just have a great support system. They all show up at gigs. If I call and I'm like, hey, I need to like sell out this place tonight, so they asked me to sing at this place. They'll come, and they really like. I've experienced nothing but support from them. They're really awesome.
That's what's up. Yeah, I mean, some people they talk about how they don't get support from their hometown or they don't get a lot of friends to support them, but in today's age, it makes it a lot easier that you don't need your hometown to support you.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get support from wherever you want to. I mean, if you just like, so if you are or posting something on Instagram, if you have a sponsored post, it asks you, hey, where do you want your post to target?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you could basically take a bunch of pictures and put the location as Los Angeles and act like you're from Los Angeles. You could be living in Knoxville, Tennessee, and people could think you're in Los Angeles.
That's true.
And which is mind blowing, but that's the reality.
Social media.
yeah, that's the part of social media is the fact that you can do whatever you want to and be wherever, like be from wherever you want to and pick up that audience.
Yeah.
Do you feel like Memphis is your biggest draw in of fans?
I would definitely say yes, according to live shows. I think when it comes to Spotify, I think the last time I checked, the biggest city that listens to my music is actually LA.
Really?
So that was interesting. It was really cool. For a time, it was a different country. I can't remember which one, and I was like, where'd this come from?
Yeah.
Like, let's go on a tour. Yay.
Yeah, right?
But
tour.
To our backyard tour.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, it's I would definitely say that's really cool to see the Spotify thing. I just got into that this year, and I think dropping that newest single and having the voice fans helped it. I mean, actually have listeners. Like the last 2 songs I released, I had like 20 people listen to it. But this year it was really cool to actually see statistics on where people were listening. That was really, really, really cool. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. But
a lot of the podcasts I was talking about that I listened to, they really help with like the marketing. So have you ever heard of Submit Hub?
Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
Submit Hub is a great place to start getting your music out there.
It is.
Because what they do is they help you not only find other people, but, you know, so you can find people to collaborate with.
Yeah.
But when you submit your music out to those curators, it allows you to get your music into playlists.
Yes.
I was listening to some podcast. I'm not sure if it was like the DIY musician or something, but in this podcast, the guy was talking about he started music in it was either 2018 or 2019.
Okay.
It was like April of 2018 or 2000. I can't remember. But anyways, he said that he had very few. I want to say maybe like hundreds of plays or something like that. And then he said now he is about to break 400,000 streams a month.
Wow.
Yeah, because he just constantly was just like making contact with people and attacking those curators and just getting his music out there. And it just, you know, eventually just over time, it just blew up. And I was like, man, that's crazy. But he said he only does like ambient music. So he's just like making instrumentals. Jesus. And I think it was one of the playlists he had was like calming music.
Yeah.
So people who are just, you know, I guess meditating or doing yoga or about to go to sleep, like that's it. They're just going to throw on that playlist and boom, there you go.
He can make a lot of money though on YouTube.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just make those videos to Spotify. Whew, he's good to go.
Yeah. And you know, that's just where you just find your niche.
Yep.
I mean, not everybody can do that, but he just found his niche. So that's something that, you know, once you find that as an artist, you know, that it's going to skyrocket your career.
Yeah.
Which even with, so you said R&B and like soul is your type thing. Like, I wouldn't say most younger people are really into that.
Yeah. No, I figured that out pretty quickly. I think I didn't really know I wanted to do that. It was so funny when I was 15, I actually was a country artist, and most people now laugh because they're like, oh my gosh, you were so soul. But I think I was just kind of playing around, and then my first single sounds more pop.
Okay.
And my second single is definitely pop. And then this just, I think, me growing through the past few years with different mentors, different friends, finally kind of really, really digging into this city and figuring out what I like listening to, I think. And then I was like, oh, this is what I like doing. I picked up the guitar this year. So that kind of changed my sound. And Yeah, I definitely, I do have an older demographic that really likes my music, but I'm cool with it. I kind of feel like Sarah Bareilles in a way, because she definitely has an older demographic, but it's kind of cool. I'm an old soul anyway. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of a crazy demographic for somebody like you to have, because you understand the tech savvy stuff, which they might not.
Yep.
So to grab their attention would be kind of difficult. But I mean, with the right marketing, like you can get anybody, which is weird because like the people who are running the music business are that age. It's probably a bunch of like 40 to 60-year-old people who are like the top managers and directors within the music industry. So I don't know. I mean, have you?
Hit me up.
Yeah. So I'm assuming. So what happens after The Voice? Like.
So I made it. I made it to the battle.
Yeah.
I got kicked off the battle. Then I got brought back.
Which was bogus,
stage.
by the way. I actually just watched that, and so okay. So your voices were just two different voices. She had a very different voice that my ears don't really care for. Like, don't get me wrong, she sounded phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I just preferred your voice because it had a more smooth, soothing sound to it. It was that you had that very soul type sound to it. I just prefer your voiceover. So, which is weird that John Legend went with her, because he seems like more of a soul type R&B type person. So I was very confused by that. But that was. Anyways, I just had to have that input.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I appreciate it.
For those of you who don't know, go watch that episode on YouTube.
Season 16, y'all. Season 16.
Season 16. What was her name? Maylene or something?
Maylin. Yeah.
Maylin. Maylin and Savannah. And
when we were young.
Yeah, you can hear they're completely different voices, but her, like Savannah's voice to me just sounded. It sounds better to me just because that's what I prefer. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe John was going for something different. Like he just wanted. So what was the point of the battle? I don't ever watch The Voice.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. So the first round is the blind audition. It's basically where like they turn their chairs and they pick. And so made it through that, and then the battle. Basically, each coach has 12 people on their team, and they basically pit two of their own team people together and have to pick one of them. So we were both on Team Legend, and it's kind of a it's stressful because we all like love each other. It's a very big family because we're all like crazy about the same thing, and we're just like, oh, you like music too, great. And that was a really cool thing that I'd never experienced before. But then you're like, crap, we're in a competition. Yeah. So we just kind of enjoyed it while we were there. And I think she and we made it very clear. I think if you watch the show, half the time you do see battles and they literally look like they're fighting on stage. Like you feel
that's awkward.
You feel like the other person's trying to up the other, and that doesn't
singing over you,
singing over you, and like, oh, I can do this run, and people really go at it. And granted, it's a competition, and that's what. But I think she and I both went into it, and we were like, hey, let's just make a good song.
Let's make a hit.
Do it. Let's just do it. And I appreciate that. And I think they even made a point about that. They're like, y'all both blended. Y'all didn't try to do anything. So I think we kind of took that risk of like, okay, please, Lord, let one of us get stolen. Like we were really, And what's so funny, we're backstage, right? And it's the first night of filming of the battles, and we hear the steals going. And each person only, I think, had 2 steals, and like 6 of them happened that night. And we were the last ones that night. They made us the last ones, and I was like, well, this has been fun. I already knew. I was like, we're done. Yeah. So it was it's a roller coaster. We all knew. Just the fact that we were there alone was like a once in a life. Like we were just like, okay, well, this has been fun. Great to know you. And I remember I went home the next day, and within 24 hours, they're like, hey, can you come back for the comeback stage? And I was like, okay, here we go. So we went back, and that was a cool other thing that I got to do there. And basically it's through, I forget how many people, but a handful of people that they chose come back, and you basically one person goes back to the lives. So we all kind of fight to get back to the actual show.
Okay.
And I made it to the semifinals, and I got picked off
Nice.
again. But it was awesome. I was 17. I was like, what is my life right now? This is the last year of high school. I was like, this is a great senior trip. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So after that, I think, long answer to your question.
No, go ahead.
But I would say it just opened up a lot of doors. I just think it gave me some street cred. So I was really able to gig then, really able to book the shows. Be able to collaborate with more people. And so I think it does help tremendously for even just to prove to yourself, okay, this is possible. Like I can do this. So I think just between confidence and believing that it can happen and just opening the doors. I recommend anyone get on the show. Get on the show.
So how did you get on the show?
Well, I had tried out when I was 15, and I made it.
Is it kind of like a wait in line type thing?
Yeah, It was wrapped around the building. I've never seen that many people in my life, and I don't know if any people know this, but there's like a lot of auditions before you get to that audition, and it's a lot. So I was just thankful I got there. I was like, how did I even? They made a mistake, but they'll realize later. Let's just not tell them. There's like 5 auditions, I would say, before that audition.
So 5 auditions, and then you stand in line for the big audition.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I went to Atlanta that first time and the second time, and I made it to like the second audition, and then I didn't get it. And my mom was like, "You gonna try it again?" I was like, "Heck yeah, I'm gonna try it again." And so, it just didn't work out timing wise when I was 16. I'm thankful, because I still needed some to grow before I went and did all that. But, I hit 17. And we were in Atlanta, and I was like, let's just do it again. Let's just see. It really wasn't even the fact that I thought I could get on the show. It was, let's just get a step further. Let's just get a little bit further than we did last time. I'm a goal-oriented person. Yeah. And so I did it, and it just kept going. I mean, we just got callback after callback, and they send you down there for the executive callbacks for a week after you've made it through so many auditions, and you sing in front of 20 executive producers of the show. That is the most intimidating thing on the planet. I think I died in that moment. I was like, is this my body? Am I alive? And genuinely walked out of there, and I was like, nope, I didn't get it, Mom. And we kept going. So just prepare for anyone who does audition. If you're listening to this, there's a lot of steps, but I think the main thing that friends of mine told me that had been on the show was just trust the process. Just trust the process. So, got on the show, and here we are today in quarantine.
So with being in front of those people, so you said the 20 executive producers, that's nerve-wracking. But what about being on stage? So it's basically a concert, pretty much. And then not only is it a concert, but you're being judged in this concert by, is it Kelly Clarkson?
There's Kelly Clarkson, John Legend, Blake Shelton, and Adam Levine was on season 16.
So these people who are established in the music industry are judging you, and you're 17. How do you feel? Like, where is your mind actually still inside your brain?
No, I blacked out. I
was
definitely blacked out.
I couldn't imagine.
I remember, and there's such a buildup because they send you, after you've been picked, after the executive callbacks, they send you to LA for a month for what I call voice boot camp. You have rehearsals, you have vocal lessons, you have choreography, you have the hair, you have you have all those things, and there's such a buildup to that one day. You're there for 30 days preparing, and you don't know even the week of the blind auditions where they're filming, it's 5 days. You don't know what night you're going to do it. They tell you the night before.
Wow.
Like at 9 o'clock. So we're all stressed, exhausted. I mean, talk about just, whew, I was exhausted after that experience. It was awesome.
Yeah.
But you definitely have to be taking care of yourself. And I remember walking out, and they have this little, at backstage, they had this little vocal booth. And you can hear, like, I remember seeing the side of Adam Levine's face at one point, or Kelly Clarkson's face. And as they shut the doors after one other artist went, and I was like, oh, this is real. This is actually, I was like,
I'm not dreaming.
I'm not dreaming. And my, the vocal coach that trained us behind the scenes, she was an absolute gem of a human. Her name was Trelawney. And I kept asking her, I was like, okay, so like how much time? And she was like, oh, honey, you have plenty of time. You're fine. You're good. And so they put me in this vocal booth where you get to basically run through your song one more time before you go out. No pressure. And I run through it, and I'm still thinking in my brain, oh, I'm getting nervous, like thinking about this. So I'm like, oh, I still have so much time. I'm fine. And I remember literally they open up this little small, like it's literally this big. And they open it up. They have mic in hand. They're like, you ready to go, kid? And I'm like, water.
Where am I?
Water. And at this point, you're surrounded by a makeup person, a hair person, someone's fixing my belt, making sure everything looks snazzy. And at this point, I'm like, screw it. I was like, how's everyone doing today? I'm just like, we're doing it now. So, and from then on, you hear my artist number was 79. Artist number 79. I'll never forget that. And they have a countdown for until the doors open, and you actually have to move your legs and walk. And so I hear it, and I'm like, it's the longest and shortest countdown of my life. And finally, I was just like, all right, walk. So I walked, and I blacked out. I do not remember half of it. I had to watch. I do remember hugging all 4 of them. That was really cool. And I went home, and my friends were like, how was it like hugging Blake Shelton? And I was like, Blake Shelton's really tall. And they're like, I was like, he smells good. I don't know, man. I was like, my senses were all crazy. Yeah. But yeah, it's cool. That's cool. Crazy. Something to tell the grandkids one day.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's a once in a lifetime type thing. I mean, even if you go on to like sell out an arena or something, that experience is different.
It's so different.
It's not an arena where you're just performing and then you can, shake hands with fans and whatnot. It's you're being judged and it can help propel your career. It's two completely different experiences.
Yeah.
I mean, so what do you think is something that really, I guess, helped your career other than that? Like, not so much that experience itself, but like what happened, I guess, after that, like lessons you learned from that. I guess that's what I'm asking. Like lessons you learned from that whole experience.
Yeah, good question. I always preach about being yourself. I think, as cliche as it may sound, I think it's very easy, especially when you get to that point where you're looking around and seeing what everyone else is doing, seeing what they're wearing, seeing what they're singing, and you're like, what? I did the wrong thing. And I think at that point, when you get to that executive callback, I remember being there, and I'm a very simple person, I would say. And I show up in my ripped jeans and my t-shirt, and I'm just, you see what you see is what you get. And I remember seeing a girl, and she was stunning, but she had metallic lipstick, and I was like, I didn't bring metallic lipstick. I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And I think that's where you're like, no, if I would never wear metallic lipstick in my life. And so
Lady Gaga shows up.
I was like, this is not what it is. Yeah. So I think just be yourself. I mean, at that point, you're there because you were you. So just stay true to yourself. And then this business, both in that competition and then just the long journey, it's a journey, and you got to be patient. I think that was a long 1-year process of just auditions and going back and forth to LA and figuring out all that stuff. So the anticipation of everything, I think you just enjoy it. Just enjoy, even now in this season where you're at home and you're figuring out what the heck to do with all your time and mad about not going to do shows. I think just enjoy it. I think a year or two from now, we're going to be like, oh man, I wish we could go through another quarantine. I don't know. I feel like I always look back and I wish I'd enjoyed the moment more than I did and really just was present. So I think those were 2 things that I learned.
So how do you feel like that impacted your life as far as your career? Because, I mean, that happened to you at 17. Do you feel like expectations and pressure is completely different compared to if that happened to you at like 34? Like, are you happy it happened to you so early? Or would you mentioned earlier that you auditioned and didn't make it at 15 and 16. So do you feel like I'm happy it happened so early, or do you wish it happened later?
I think I am happy it happened so early. I think, it was so funny on the show. They kept asking, I was homeschooled 9th through 12th grade, and they kept asking, they're like, yeah, don't you feel like that was a sacrifice, like for you to like take, not go and be like a regular kid? And I was like, no, this is what I love to do. Like I was just like, this is just like me going back to me not having a life. I was like, to me, I feel like most of the time this is what I do. And so I think, I feel like it was such an important thing for me to do when I was 17, because I don't think I would have made the same decisions afterward. I think, again, going back to the confidence thing, I was like, oh, this is possible. This is actually what I should be doing with my life. Yeah. And I think that helped a bunch. I think that gave peace to my family, to be honest, because they're all so supportive, but I think there's still that kind of like, oh, this is not a guaranteed career. I think that's still kind of in their gut. And I think it kind of gave them like, okay, John Legend thinks she can make it. All right, let's take a seat. So I think
if John Legend said it's okay, it's okay.
Right, it's fine. So I think it was perfect timing. I think it just I believe in all of us are set on a little journey, and that was just part of my journey. Yeah, so
that's awesome. I mean, but even as you said, people are asking you, are you sure you want to be like a regular kid? But like, no, you don't want to be like a regular kid.
I want to be me.
That's why you're there, is to not be like everybody else.
Right.
You want a successful career in music, and you want to propel it at that time period. Like you were ready.
Yeah.
You had the lungs and the voice, and you were ready to do it. Yeah. And I think that's something that America really has an issue with, is not getting young people more involved in just art in general. Yeah. So like music or drawing and painting and artistic type things. Like when I was in, I don't know, I think it was like 9th and 10th grade when we had like art class, we all joked around, and the teacher would give us like an assignment to like draw this, paint that. And, we're all just joking around. Yeah. It's freaking 9th and 10th grade or whatever. But that's something that I think really is missing from kids at that age, because it gives you a chance to express yourself.
Yeah.
Especially with music, because I think freaking suicides and mental health issues have skyrocketed among kids, and mainly because of social media. I mean, but just giving kids an opportunity to express themselves and to do stuff like that. Like, so I've found out that I have really high adrenaline. So like when I get nervous or excited, I shake. Like my body just like starts shaking.
Yeah.
So doing what you did, I know for sure I would be shaking. Like
I was.
Yeah. Like I tell people, so I used to be in the Air Force, and
really, that's awesome.
I loaded bombs.
Wow.
And I think I would be more nervous doing that than loading bombs. And even though I do music, so I rap, but
that's cool.
I've never done a show before or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I've like just thinking about that type of thing, but it's something that's good for you, you know, because you've been on the spot. So anything from then on out is like, oh, I was on The Voice. This is easy.
This is easy.
You want me to talk in front of who? That's not John Legend. Yeah. So I mean, like that experience so young in your lifetime, it really helped you, you know, it's going to help you in your future with whatever you do. And that's a risk that shouldn't even be a risk. You know what I mean? Like it's a risk that is truly an opportunity that more young people should be exposed to.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's sad that, you know, not everybody is a great singer like you. You know, not everybody has that opportunity to go do stuff like that. But that's what people should be exposed to.
Yeah. I completely agree. I definitely am more on the what is it, right brain side?
Yeah.
So that was most of the reason I needed to be homeschooled, because at the school I was attending, they were very athletic driven school. And so they had very, very, very little chance for people like me to do those things. And I was like, Mom, Dad, we need to do, I can just do this on my own.
Yeah.
It's like, so I think, I definitely think it's very important, because there's a lot of people like you and me that need, that's how we express ourselves. And I think a lot of people ask me what are ways that I've gotten through tough times, and really it has been the writing thing. It's a way for me to get my words and my thoughts out on paper, and after I do that, I'm like, I'm good. So I think it'd be very beneficial. I like that you said that.
Yeah. I mean, so how do you feel like is the percentage of your music words that you want people to know about you compared to like words that you think people would like? You know what I mean? Like if you were making a movie, there's stuff that you just want people to see, and then there's stuff that you're like, ooh, somebody would like that. You know what I mean? So how do you weigh that percentage of lyrics? Like, are you just trying to go for something that other people, you know, they would relate to, or stuff that you like, hey, I want people to know this about me. Like, I want them to hear these words about me.
Yeah. That's a very good question. I think most of the time when I write, I don't know. I think especially this year, I experimented more with it, and just kind of played around. Like I remember posting a picture and I was like, hey, everyone say one word and I'll try to throw it into a song. Like it was more like a group project. I think I err more on the side of like being personal, being vulnerable. That is what I've been told is my strong suit when it comes to writing different things. So I don't know. I definitely think when you get into the business side of things, you definitely need to have a balance. And it's just a matter, I think I've been able to have the freedom of doing whatever I want since I really haven't released the full project yet. So when I release these singles, like it's just kind of what's been on my mind or what, you know, I'm doing. So I don't know. It's a good food for thought. I need to think about that more. That's good.
I mean, because like you'll hear, have you ever heard a song from an artist and you're like, that doesn't sound like them. You know what I mean? I listen to a lot of The Weeknd, and The Weeknd's like, I would say he's probably in my top 5 like favorite artist, period.
That's cool.
And there's some songs where I'm just like, that doesn't sound like him. It's really the songs that start sounding too poppy, because I listen to his old music, like all his old mixtapes with like House of Balloons and stuff like that. And so when I first heard him on the radio, I was like, oh, snap, Weeknd's on the radio now. And then I started hearing his other music. I was like, that doesn't sound like the old him, which it's completely fine. Like you're supposed to change as an artist. But certain songs just didn't sound like he wrote it. You know what I mean? Like all those other music just sounded so personal.
Yeah.
And it's like you could feel it. And then when he starts singing these other songs, I was like, doesn't really sound like him.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really why I asked that question is because sometimes you gotta make music that you just know people would like it. Like it might not be something that you would naturally write, but you know it would be a hit. So, you know.
I think I'm very much so a gut person. I think as long as I follow my gut, I usually nail it on the dot if I trust that. Now, sometimes you can let other influences affect it, and then you're like, I didn't listen to my gut. But I think as long as you just kind of, and that goes back to being yourself too. But
yeah. So how was it like meeting all these different kinds of people? I mean, you said the girl with the metallic lipstick. So like the South is completely different from out West. And like the people are different and everything. So
a funny story. So that is so true. And I've never gone that far out of that
was your first time out that way?
That it was. I've gone to like Florida, but I've usually just stayed in the South. And because
Florida is not the South. Well, okay, I'll say like Pensacola and like go lateral from there, probably like right where Jacksonville is. Yeah. That's the South.
It is.
But like Orlando and like everything down below that's not the South.
It's not the
That's
South.
a different country.
It's a different country.
Yeah.
It's so true. Yeah, the only other place I'd been is New York, and that's so different. I went there when I was 14, I think. But I've never been to LA, and most of the time I've always been in Memphis with the sweet little Southern people. Yeah. And I get up there. People, it's every man for himself in LA. That's one thing. I was like, woo! I mean, that's one thing I'd consider literally when if and when I'd ever move there is be like, oh, I will not have that Southern charm anymore. Yeah. But I remember walking around and I didn't know what weed smelled like. I'm a goody. I'm a little church girl. Did not know. And I remember walking around and I was like, Mom, why are there so many skunks here in California? She was like, oh, God. Sweetie. She said, that's pot.
That is hilarious.
I was like, oh, so that's just one little...
Mom, why do you know what that is?
Yeah, we have to have another discussion now. But that's just one of many things that happened in California where it just opened... Talking about a senior trip. That was eye-opening. So, that's a little good nugget.
That's funny. But yeah, I mean, it's a completely different world.
It is.
You know, I like going to California. Like I've been to LA twice. And did you go to San Diego? Have you ever been there?
I've never been there.
San Diego is amazing. Like, cool. So San Diego is like the better version of LA. Like LA is like, okay, so LA is like when you're dating, like you're having fun, meeting new people you're, just having fun, like dating. Yeah. San Diego is marriage. Like
really?
It's more everything's nicer there. Like everything seems like people got their stuff together. Yeah. LA is like all the hobos and
everyone's
clubs and parties. Like, yeah. So San Diego is really nice down there. And I got a friend that lives in that area, and he I think he said they have the best weather like in the world.
Wow.
Like as far as like, the averages of like how hot it gets and how cold it gets,
it's
like
very nice weather.
It's like the most perfect weather. Yeah. I was trying to explain that to Rachel because we just went there in July, and she was like, "Should I bring a jacket?" And I was like,
"No,
Rachel, you don't understand. It doesn't rain there, and it feels great there year round."
That's cool.
And plus, we were going in July, so I was like, "No,
fine.
don't bring a rain
humidity.
jacket."
That was new to me.
Yeah,
I've never not had humidity.
Yeah, it feels phenomenal there. Yeah. So, it's a great place to visit, but I wouldn't want to live there.
No, it's no.
Have you thought about going somewhere else just to, like, maybe like Nashville,
I have. I think if I were to, there was a time, and every now and then it still kind of pops back into my head where I think just for the heck of it as a musician to just throw myself into New York or LA just to see, how much more I could grow, what other connections just for a time. I don't think I'd want to do it for a long term. But ideally, I love Memphis.
Yeah.
I really love. Nashville is cool and it's booming. It's really, really cool. I love being able to travel there and being as close as I am. But it doesn't have the same thing as Memphis. I don't know. It's just, and I think if I were like a country artist or even a pop artist, I think it'd be a smart move. But I think being an R&B and soul artist, I think it's smarter for me to stay here.
Who are some people that highly influence you that are here?
Well, I go to Hope Church and they're my family, but the music there, and I even told them, talk about preparing for what the last 2 years of my life has been. I really think they helped, me grow that much as an artist and as a musician and a singer. So, just throwing me out and doing stuff and, that it's just a phenomenal group of musicians and singers that I'm blessed to sing with every weekend. So they've been massive and tremendous in helping me in music and just staying grounded. And then I would say I just started. I'm buddies with Boo Mitchell.
Okay,
he's
nice.
Awesome. He's a cool dude. One of the nicest people.
I've been trying to get him on this podcast.
You have? Oh, he's so. I'll hit him up. But
nice. All right.
Be like, hey. But he's been awesome. And then I'm gonna think of so many people after this, but truly, I love all the people here. It's a really, and the music community here is a very small, so we all know each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I've been doing some readings, and there was talking about having a mentor, and mentors can completely change your perspective on certain things and your just your ideas on what you should do next. Do you have any mentors that you have?
My mom, one, is my best friend. She's just awesome and a singer as well. That girl can sing.
Yeah.
And I would say my manager, Jill Dyson, she's dope. She's a cool human being.
How did you get her as your manager?
She goes there, and she and I'd been talking about it for a while. She runs a nonprofit called Angel Street. They're awesome and help young girls start singing, which is so cool. But she'd signed one artist, and her name's Tyrion. She's awesome. She's actually doing, I don't know if it's tonight, she's doing the Dove Awards tonight. So she's a really cool artist. Y'all should go check her out. But she and I started talking about it. And what was so funny, Tyrion had done American Idol. And when my mom and I figured out I was doing The Voice, we were like, who do we know that has done this before? And so we just went to them. We were like, hi. And we're just looking up, like, what do we do?
Yeah.
And so both of those women have been tremendous in just helping me through the artist process and just figuring out what to do this song, don't do this song. Say yes to this opportunity. Don't say it. I'm very bad. I'm just now learning it's okay to say no to things. I think as an artist, we all feel pressured to say yes to everything because you think that one thing will make your career.
Yeah.
So I think it's very important to say no sometimes. But those and that group of people at Hope and just I'm trying to think of anyone else. I go to a vocal coach in Nashville, and she's awesome. I'd consider her a mentor, and I'm thankful for the people throughout my life, whether they just had a season or they're still with me. I think they've just helped me a bunch to grow, and they were there for a reason, each time. So, yeah.
When you have to make that decision on like who you keep around, who you don't, I mean, I'm sure like after The Voice and all the other exposure you get, like a lot of people are probably reaching out to you. So how do you balance that kind of stuff? Like, hey, I see what you're doing, that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, I it was an interesting experience. I think, again, going back to my gut helps a lot. And what's so funny is the times where I haven't followed it, and then I'll see, you should have, and it's just a testament now to just follow that even more. I think, I was talking to a buddy of mine the other day, and I'm very hard on myself. And I was like, I cannot believe I did this one thing. I was like, I don't know what, should I keep pushing this project? Should I not? And he was like, Savannah, dude, you're on a journey. He said, I do not believe in mistakes. He said, I believe in growth. And so I think it's inevitable for any artist to make a mistake, especially, no matter if you have a team or not. I think you almost, as an independent artist with no team, you almost have more room to be like, you can educate yourself now, read the books, do the thing, get the mentors. And just when those times come, I think this last project that I made a mistake on, I walked away, and both my manager and this friend of mine who's a producer in Florida, they both were like, dude, you just learned this lesson, and this lesson, and it really didn't hurt you that much. And they were just like, just take that for what it is. So I think just as artists, I know me personally and a lot of my friends, you think it can make or break you every time. So I think just be gentle. I think it's you're just on a journey. You're going to make a billion mistakes. Yeah. On stage, off stage, business-wise. So I think it's just a matter of taking it. And I think now looking at what I've done over the past 3 or 4 years, 4 years ago, I couldn't have handled any of this. So I think it's just kind of look back and be like, this is how far you've come. Just keep trucking along.
Yeah. So you've got the Spotify for artists. Yes. We're talking about the Amazon Music for artists, stuff like that. So how involved do you really want to be as far as like, taking care of yourself? So, I mean, your manager, they're going to take care of you and handle some of those things. But as far as like doing those type of things and like being self-aware of your music career, like how much do you really like want to be involved? Because some artists just like, I just want to make music and that's it, nothing else. So
I am a nerd. I love all of it to some extent. But I really I'm getting into now, and even producing wise, it's just more of a thing. Like, I don't want to sound like an idiot when I'm in the conference room or I'm in the in the production room and I'm seeing all the buttons and they all look, and intimidating. So I think it's a matter of me feeling confident enough to do it, but knowing there will come a time where I'm going to be like, okay, you do it now. And so I think now is the time for me to learn all those things. I eat it all up. I watch all the YouTube videos, listen to all the podcasts, read all the books. And I think I think it can be very beneficial to artists. I know a couple friends of mine are like that, but I think you are a little bit more vulnerable when it comes to that, and people can unfortunately take advantage of you when they know you're not educated. But I have had a few experiences where either mentors' advice or me reading a book or something has helped me in a situation, and I'll be like, oh, I'm so thankful I knew that. So I do like being involved. I think I'll always want to be somewhat involved, but I'd like to be less involved one day.
Yeah, I mean, as an artist, you hope that you're too busy to do all that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, you want to be either on the road or just like, actually, now that I'm thinking about this, have you been doing Facebook Lives, like the Facebook Live concerts?
Yes, I've done so many of those.
Really? Yeah. Okay. So how's that been going?
It's been really good. I remember, especially at the beginning of quarantine, when gigs were canceled or we just decided to do it. I've done Zoom concerts. Okay. For a time, I did the Instagram Live thing, and I'd have a buddy come on and do it with me. I've done the Facebook Live thing, and it was really cool because thankfully, a lot of the venues that canceled, especially in Memphis, they still honored the gig by doing it on their page as a Facebook thing. Oh, wow. So it was really cool. I was supposed to do one thing with the Orpheum, and we ended up doing it on their thing, and that's a lot of exposure. They got like a lot of followers. So I was afraid. I was like, that many people watch that video. Okay, cool. So I think that's been cool. And it's again, looking back at what can I focus on now? Right now I can focus on social media because everyone's on social media. So, it was.
Yeah. I mean, it's a crazy world out there as far as like the possibilities are endless.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless. I mean, people talk about the Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and I know, do you remember Periscope? Like, wasn't that the same thing? It was kind of like a live type deal. Do you know what Periscope is?
I don't think so.
But from your reaction, I was like, I don't think she knows what Periscope is. I think it was like a streaming type thing. Well,
really?
Do you know what Twitch is?
I know exactly. I was about to bring that up.
So I don't think Periscope was like Twitch, but I think it had something to do with streaming. I can't remember, but I remember it like had its time. Like it was big for a little while, and then people just I think they just dwindled off from it.
Yeah.
But the streaming thing is, it's been big because of the whole pandemic. So, did you do like the virtual tip jar? Did you do that?
I didn't do it enough. I wish I had. A lot of my friends were like, you need to do that more. And I was like, I don't know what it goes back to being educated. I was just like, let's do it. We're singing. And so I wish I had done more of that. One buddy of mine who did the Zoom concert, she made it to where they'd buy a ticket and then they wouldn't get sent the link until they bought the ticket. So you can just play around, I feel like. But I Cash App. I should have used Cash App. Another mistake.
Well, I mean, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
So Rick Barker, that's where I learned that from, was that virtual tip jar.
Yes.
And so just throw that up there and people can donate while you're performing. I was like, that's crazy. And it's really helpful.
I will say though, and on that topic, I'm getting into, have you heard of Patreon?
Yes. Actually, I was about to bring that up to you.
Yes.
But Rachel was trying to set me up a Patreon.
Yeah, do it.
And it seems like a really good tool. So have you already started it, or are you about to start it up?
I'm about to. I'm like maybe a week away. And I wanted to educate myself a bunch on it beforehand because you're dealing with money and I didn't want to, but I really wanted to make sure I put a lot into it. And it's interesting. It's really cool. I think, and more creating a story around having a real relationship with your fans. Because you're definitely going to have, they showed a pyramid. I watched a bunch of videos on it. And they showed a pyramid. All of your fans are up here, and at the bottom of the pyramid is going to be your fans that actually pay to get content. So you're at the very tip. You're going to get a very small. But even that handful of people, they're going to feel so much more connected, I think. And I don't know. I think it's a really cool tool for branding as well as getting an income. I think it'll help with both things. So I'm excited about it. It's really cool.
And plus you seem like a type of person who you're okay with people knowing about your life. Like you're okay with people being in tune with you. Because I don't have one. Right. Like some people legit don't want people to know like anything about them.
Yeah.
And like to me, it's okay. Like if that's who you are, that's okay.
Yeah.
But I think you're missing out on an opportunity to not only gather more of an audience, but for people to be more committed to you. I think people feel, when they feel more connected to you, they're going to, when they're just riding somewhere down the road, they're going to want to play your music because they're automatically thinking about music, and when they think about music, they think about you. So to me, that's when you are more connected with your fans. I think that helps you out a lot more.
Oh, hands down. It's such a personal thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going back to connecting. I think I just, especially over the past 3 years, when I was 13, was I talking on stage? No, I was terrified of being on there, period. And I think it's been a really cool tool for me to see over the past couple years of me just starting to be my goofy self on stage and be like, what's up? I'm awkward and I have 4 dogs. And I'll open with that. And already it's just like everyone level. I mean, we're all on the same playing field at that point, I think. So I think if you bring your, because I like thinking about the people that I admire, and that, you know, like I'm a massive fan of Tori Kelly.
Okay.
She's awesome. And
so who's Tori Kelly? I saw the name on the YouTube thing, but I don't know.
She is so. That's your homework. You have to go. You have
right.
to go look up Tori Kelly.
All right.
She is so cool. She ended up, and I feel like kind of connected to her somewhat because she made it on American Idol when she was 16.
Okay.
And then got kicked off after like 1 or 2 rounds, so more connection. But she just blew up on YouTube one year. And from then on, she got signed by Scooter Braun. I don't know if you know, but he's a really big producer, or not producer. Well, he is a producer.
I've heard his name before, actually.
Yeah, he's more of a manager. He manages Justin Bieber, Meghan Trainor, like all those big pop names. And but she is just an awesome person. And I think as a fan, I would want to feel like, I think as long as you put your mindset in that, I think of just thinking of what you would want as a fan to someone else, I think that helps you as an artist figure out what your fans want. So.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, being able to just have that connection, to me, I don't know. I think it's more that personal relationship just makes you feel like, hey, like I know this person.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're listening to that music, it just makes you, it puts you in a different space. Like it's not just background noise. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I'm listening to them. Like their voice is right there, and we're making a connection.
Yeah.
So, there is another website that I was going to tell you about, Song Influencer. So something another website I heard about through a podcast, and I think their thing is kind of like the whole TikTok thing, where like you're getting your music into people's profiles and whatnot. But have you heard of that?
I've not.
Okay, so yeah, they're basically, it's kind of like the Submit Hub thing, where you know, with the curators and everything. But I think Song Influencer is meant to, I want to say it's meant to connect the influencers to the musicians instead of like the other way around. You know what I mean? I think it's more so for the influencers.
Yeah.
But like as an artist, like you got to kind of get on there to make the connections. I'm not positive, but just something for you to look into.
Yeah, I definitely will.
Have you noticed anybody like sharing specific music of yours? Like does it take you to like post your music for people to go and share it, or are people just like sharing a specific song? Like have you? I
think staying consistent with posting with eventually, although I am being patient with the releasing music thing, I think being consistent with that is as good as you can helps a bunch, because it's more just people forget. I mean, they just forget to.
Very short attention span.
Yes, I mean, you release something and 2 days later they're on to the next thing. So I think don't feel afraid to like remind people. I think that is something that I have to continuously go listen to my song now on all streaming platforms. I think just reminding people, and that goes back to Gary Vee. He's like, consistency, just keep posting, because eventually you will get more followers. You will have more people. You know, I think it's been a good test over the past week or two, because I've posted more regularly, and you'll have more people repost. Whereas if I post one thing a week, they're like, oh, okay. And then they move on. But if they expect something from me, I think that's why the Songwriter Sunday thing did so well, because people expected me to do something every single Sunday. Yeah,
they were waiting on it. So, and I was let know if I did not do it until 9 p.m. that night. But I think you know, every now and then you'll have your handful of people. I know they'll repost this, or I know they'll. So it's just kind of a toss up of
doing that, and then you get your little sponsored, sponsor post out, and you're like, I want this person to see this and this person to see this. So, yeah.
How much content have you thought about investing in as far as like videos and photos? Like, have you paid for photo shoots?
Oh, yeah.
Have you, gotten some music videos done, or just videos of you doing random stuff? How much have you thought into that?
This year, especially, I really finally it clicked somehow that you got to have the videos. You got to have and they got to look like aesthetically pleasing, because that's where we're at. So I think I just actually shot something in the studio. I'm releasing a fun little project before the end of the year that I'm excited about, and just had a friend come in, and I was like, hey, can you take pictures and shoot? So I think it's a matter, you do have to do that. And I remember I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I was like, to be honest with you, if I were to be able to take one person on my team with me on a tour, I said, hands down, I would figure out a way in the budget to hire a digital person where they would just follow me around with a camera and just video, picture, everything.
Yeah.
Just get it all. Because I watched Lauren Daigle do that as she blew up over the past 3 or 4 years, and she had someone follow her everywhere. And that's why I think she blew up so much on social media, because she was posting new stuff every day.
Yeah.
And so I think that is so important. And I think I'm just now figuring out this year, you just have to invest in it. I think it's important. And sometimes you just got to be like, I'll record this a little later. I need to get this out now and keep these people that are already with me so they don't leave while I'm working on that. So, it's needed. It's necessary right now. So I have a new photo shoot next Wednesday.
Nice.
So I'm going to get some new pictures done. But yes, that's an important investment, I think.
So how do you feel about fashion? I mean, you've got the hat on, the nice hat.
I got
it's sweater weather now.
Sweater.
So.
Oh yeah, I'm so excited. I was like, I can wear leggings and a sweater. I'm good to go.
So are you a big fashion? Like, do you need to go to I got to go to Nashville Mall, or I've got to go to the outlet that's in is it South Haven?
Yes. Oh, the Tanger outlets.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I mean, do you have a certain spots, or you buy your clothes online?
I mean, I'm a girl. I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I have yoga pants on and a sweatshirt the majority of the time? Yes. So I usually, and it was so funny because that's really what I wear a lot of the time.
Fair enough.
And I right when I was about to get on The Voice and everything, my vocal coach at the time, I showed up my normal thing, and she's like, "Hey, hon," she said, "I love you." She's like,
but
you're about to be known here in Memphis, and I was like, "What? You don't like this?"
Oh my goodness!
So I was such a goofball. I had a little ponytail up. I did not care, and I'm still just about that. But I'm starting to slowly sort of put effort in. But I enjoy it to some degree. I think I'll have fun on stage. I'll wear my hat. I'll wear a lot of people compare me to my style is a little bit like not Fleetwood Mac, who I do dress a lot like Lauren Daigle. I wear a lot of long sweater things or something. I'm my go-to things. I wear pretty basic, right now I'm wearing all black. I wear pretty basic clothes, and then I'll go nuts with the accessories. I'll wear really, really big earrings. I'll wear the hat. I have these
so
really.
You got the rings?
I usually, and I have one usually on every single finger.
Oh, wow.
Today is a light day. So I'll go ham with that. And I'll just wear ripped jeans and a t-shirt usually and call it a day.
Okay. Are you a shoes person?
Oh my gosh, I have so many shoes. I have so many. And when I find a deal, I have this one pair, and it's the pair I wore in the blind audition. I got them for 70% off at DSW. Y'all,
oh, wow.
I'm so excited.
Nice.
I'm very much so a shoe person, and I need to stop. I don't have room for the shoes, but I still get them. I
hate to ruin your life, but have you ever heard of 6 p.m.?
No.
Oh my God.
Oh no, you're gonna kill me.
Yeah. You're gonna have to freeze your bank account or something. Yeah. So 6 p.m. If you ever go on Amazon,
oh no,
scroll all the way down to the bottom.
Okay.
Everybody listening, Go on Amazon.com, scroll all the way down to the bottom. And when you
My Friday night plans.
Yeah, if you go down to the bottom, you'll see all the companies that are affiliated with Amazon. It's like how Amazon, it's like where Amazon gets all their deals from. It's all these other companies that are affiliated with them. 6PM is one of the companies. If you go to 6pm.com, they've got tons and tons of shoes that are on sale. And it's like designer shoes that are like discounted incredible. I'm talking like 80% off or like 50% off. And it's because whatever reason. I don't know why. But
Awesome.
yeah, I'll find like I've got a pair of polo boots that were probably like $200 or $300 polo boots, and I got for like close to $100.
Wow.
And I don't know why they're discounted so much. It could be like anything. It could be maybe somebody bought them, just returned them, or something. But amazing stuff on 6pm.com.
That's
so
cool.
completely ruining your
yes, you are.
your bank account, and your weekend. So, but yeah, I love clothes, but I try not to keep them so I love college sports.
Yeah.
So I have a ton of these shirts. Like this is a Stanford shirt, and I've got I'm from Alabama, a huge Alabama football fan, but like I love college football in general and college sports. So I've got a ton of these type of shirts. But I try to like get stuff just for the artist in me. You know what I mean? Like,
Me
oh,
too.
if I'm shooting a video, what would I wear? You know what I mean? So I try to get stuff like that, but I try to limit it as well because I don't like having a lot of clothes because if I move or if I want to do something like that requires like moving the clothes, I'm like, oh, I've got so much stuff.
Yeah.
I want all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, clothes is a big part of who you are.
It
and
really is.
It's how
especially
people,
as an artist. Yeah.
It's how people identify you.
I would say, though, a great thing that I've learned over the past 2 years, you can find some really cool stuff at the thrift shop.
Oh, my God.
I just went, and for this photo shoot, I was like, I have no money. And so I went to Salvation Army. I got so many things. I walked out of there, $12. I was like, this is fantastic. So, and some of my favorite things in my closet, and some of my favorite photo shoots and live shows, and it's thrift shops where it's at.
I haven't been to a thrift store in a while, but there were some there was like a white button up polo I found in one. It had like the blue horse on it. Yeah. And that was like one of my favorite shirts. And I think I got that from a thrift store for like $5 or something like that. So that's something that, at first I didn't really think was a big deal. And then I started paying attention to like how people take their photos and stuff. Yeah. Like I see people take photos and they'll do, I don't know if it might have been Rick Barker that was talking about this, but he was saying whenever you post like multiple photos. So like do the photos where you have to swipe to see the rest of their photos. Yeah. Because what happens is if somebody opens their Instagram and they're scrolling through and they see your photo, if they like it or if they don't, whatever. But if they close their Instagram and say they did that at like 12 in the afternoon, they open their Instagram again at like 6, they're going to see the other photo because Instagram automatically swipes through.
I noticed that. And I didn't really put 2 and 2 together, but I think it's like Instagram giving you a second chance. To be
basically,
like, do you like this photo more?
Exactly, yeah. So it's kind of like it's kind of like posting more than once just from one post. Yeah. So that's something that I really noticed. And people were posting like, so if they had like a nice outfit, they would post like a headshot. They would post the entire outfit and then post like just their shoes or something like that. Yeah. So that's something, to think about.
That's interesting. Yeah. All I'm doing now is
So do you think your bank account will differ? Do you think your bank account will determine the clothes you wear? Like if you're making a lot of money doing music, do you think you'll start wearing like really expensive clothing, or do you think you'll still be in a thrift store, dropping a $20 bill on 50 different outfits?
I'm probably, I would say I like thrift shopping, man. There's moments where I'll be like, I'm gonna splurge on myself and get something fun. Hats, I wear that kind of because hats are expensive, and I'll be like, okay, I'll set this money aside. I spend so much money on music. Like it just oh my gosh, I want to get in the studio over here and I want to go do this over here. I think career wise, I more so would be like, I want to go to this seminar. I'm such a nerd.
Well, that's good.
I'm such a dork. One of my friends called me out on it too. He was like, "You always figure out a way to work, don't you?" And I was like, "Yes, I do." So I think I'd more so do that, spend stuff on equipment, but every now and then, even when I don't have the money, I'll most likely just go shopping.
Yeah.
And that online shopping can get you so quick.
Yeah. Especially if they're like, this is a sale. Yeah. And around this type of year, so Sweetwater, that's where I get a lot of my equipment.
Yes.
Sweetwater will have a sale, and it's like, oh, shoot, I've got to buy this. Like, they're not going to have this sale again. And then 2 weeks later, they got another sale, and you're like, oh, they got me. So,
yeah, and it's a better sale. It's always a better sale.
And it's a better sale. So, it's a toss-up. I always say, if you don't need it right then, wait till a holiday's coming up. So Labor Day sales,
oh yeah, that's smart.
Black Friday, stuff like that. Which Black Friday is coming up, so that's where you're gonna get most of your deals and everything.
Great excuse.
Yeah, phenomenal excuse. That's why I there's like some stuff that I've been thinking about getting. I'm just like, no, like Black Friday is right around the corner, and whatever I want is going to be like 20% off. So might as well just wait till then. So, what do you have stuff at home, like recording stuff at home?
Not really. I have one little small audio interface. I more so just got for live shows. If I had to run my own sound, and you can record with that. And I have a blue mic. I don't know. You have a blue mic, and I got that. And I'd really, I don't know if I'd like to invest it. I talked to another friend of mine about producing, and I was like, should I? Because I mean, that does give you job security, I feel like, in this business. There'll always be a need for you, I think. But I don't know. I don't find as much enjoyment in it. I think it's more so if I had to create something, or if I just wanted to lay something down real quick, I have the stuff to do it. So yeah, but it is another thing. I'm about to text a friend of mine and just be like, can I just go play around with the buttons in your studio to figure out what I'm doing? So it's just more of an education. I'd like to learn just a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, you're more than welcome to. Like, you see my own stuff. I've got everything here. So I was telling Tori and Met Montrell, like all the artists I have on, I'm like, y'all are more than welcome to come here and do stuff, because
that'd be fun.
I've got way too much stuff for like one person.
Cool.
Like, so I've actually just made a video today of my podcast setup, but I haven't done one of like my whole studio setup.
Yeah.
But for everybody who you can't see everything behind the camera, but I've got a microphone set up in here, and then I've got headphones, and I actually just bought those. Those are Bayer dynamic headphones.
Really?
And I keep seeing them in people's videos and stuff like that. I'm just like, I gotta have them.
Yeah.
Don't need them at all.
Yeah, no.
Because I've got those Audio Technica headphones, and a lot of people use those, and it's crazy because those headphones are probably about $150. And then those headphones were about $170.
Yeah.
And big name people use those. I'm talking like the biggest name music industry people use these headphones.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because they make So I don't know if you've ever heard of Focal, but Focal makes headphones and speakers. Focal headphones are probably like, well, there are some that I think I want to get in the future. They're about $299.
Yeah.
And then they make some that are like over $1,000. And I'm just like,
wow.
I'm surprised more industry people aren't using those. Because, you just assume the more expensive something is, people are just going to have it.
They're just going to get it.
But, I mean, even these microphones, the rapper Logic.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen Logic record multiple songs on these microphones. And there's like other equipment that's not that, like, it's expensive for like the average person.
Yeah.
But for somebody who is established in the music industry like that, I'm just like, that's crazy you're using that, because you could be using anything.
Yeah.
Like literally any equipment you want to. I found out about what's it called? It's the Sony, I think it's like a C, C4 414 or something like that. I forgot what the number is. But anyways, it's a Sony microphone.
Yeah.
And it's like $10,000.
Golly.
I didn't know that existed.
I'm interested to see how much it costs them to make.
I'll show you. I'll try and find this video. But so there's a company called Slate Digital.
Okay.
And they make a microphone that emulates other microphones. And they try to emulate that microphone. The guy that they had singing on it, so he sang on the Sony and then he sang on the emulation.
Oh, yeah.
They would sound really similar to an untrained ear. So if like you don't know anything about music, you would be like, oh, these sound exactly the same.
Yeah.
But like to a trained ear, you're like, oh, they sound completely different.
Yeah.
The Sony sounds way better. But
$10,000.
that Slate Digital microphone is $800.
Huh.
Compared to a $10,000 microphone, it's well worth it to just get that Slate Digital one instead of spending 10 grand on that Sony microphone. So it's crazy the amount of things that you can get by with in the industry just by knowing your equipment.
Yes.
So that's something I definitely, if you think about getting like a complete home studio setup, just do your research and try as much stuff as you can. Like that's something that, so one day I want to own my own like space.
Yeah.
But what I want to have there is the ability for artists to come there and just try stuff.
That's cool.
Like I've got these microphones. That's a Neumann microphone back there, and then I've got one of those Slate Digital microphones. So I just want to just buy stuff, and then let people just try it because you're gonna waste money. Like you're for sure. I'm telling you right now. Like you're talking about. Your friend doesn't believe in mistakes.
I already have.
You're going to waste money on equipment and just like experiences. So like services, like maybe you might hire a photographer and then that photographer the SIM card might mess up and it's like, oh, I only got 3 photos that we took. Something's going to waste your time and your money. So you might as well go ahead and prepare for that as best as possible by, just go ahead knowing like what kind of equipment that you're going to need. What was it? Oh, I was talking to Ryan about, by the way, that's another guy I need to get you in contact with.
Yeah.
Ryan Olson. Do you know who that is?
So I said that every time. It sounds so familiar.
Yeah. So Ryan, I met him through the podcast.
Yeah.
And he and I have been just doing like pretty much collaboration over social media. Like I took some photos for him and he'll post them and like he'll tag me. And so people will see like, oh, that's who took the photos and whatnot. That's cool. And, but he's an audio engineer and he does everything at home and he's about to get his own spot. I don't know when, but, he was talking about it. Like he wants to get his own spot and he's talking about getting it done. But that dude knows his stuff. And so I would definitely suggest he charges good rates for getting in his studio. But so I think he really wants to do a lot of rock. He is from, I think, Indiana.
Okay,
and,
cool, yeah.
He used to be in like a heavy metal band. And he said he moved here with his girlfriend and she and he was like, dude, most of my clients are just all rappers. And so it's kind of funny, but like, I mean, he knows the music, which I was always wondering about that. I was like, is he still just doing it just because it's money or is he actually enjoy the music, But I don't know. I mean, do you see yourself branching out in like other genres and other stuff like that?
I think I'll most likely stay within this vein. I think it is cool, like you said before, you'll see growth. I mean, eventually you'll see different things come out, and I'm so thankful I'm not a country artist anymore. If we hadn't grown before, who knows where we'd be right now. But I see me. I love jazz. I love gospel. I can see me branching out into those little things and maybe doing a little project over here and a little project over here. But I think it's very important to make sure you do brand yourself right the first 5 years. I think I've seen how people can get just like completely torn apart if they change too quickly and they don't do it a smart way. So I think that's been very important to me, knowing I do, yes, want to do those things, but make sure you do it at the right time.
Yeah.
Just so you can. And I think that's been a very cool thing I've watched Tori Kelly do, because she, for years, she did the soul pop thing, and then she did this one gospel album over here, but she and her team did it so in such a calculated way that right after that, now she can do whatever the heck she wants. She's been on a country record. She's done other gospel things, but she wasn't massacred for it, I think, which was such a cool thing to see, because people like you in your box. After you pick the box, they want you to stay in the box.
Yeah. That's what me and Tori were talking about.
Yeah.
She was like, people just wanted her to be in a box.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's one thing, but I definitely see it in my future. I think just always, and it's cool being independent because you can do it. If tomorrow I chose that I wanted to do something different, I could, and just to take the risk, I guess.
Yeah. Do you see yourself like, do you want to sign with a big label, or do you want to like stay independent?
As of right now, I mean, my manager would tell me I'm always open to any opportunity.
That's the smart answer.
Yes. I'm always open to any opportunity. I think nowadays, especially with everything that's going on and social media, you don't have any leverage if you don't have a social media presence or like at least 20,000 fans, I would say. So I think now, unless it was just a person that absolutely, like, beyond a shadow of a doubt believed in me and didn't give me a terrible contract, it'd be cool. But, and I found the two struggles. I think being an artist right now is finances and just finding the right people. I think those are the main two for a lot of artists. So I think it's just, it's kind of a matter of, I'd really like that in the future, just because, again, going back to handing things over to them, me being able to do a little more music stuff, I think that'd be really neat. And hopefully one day, if the time comes, it'll be awesome and it'll be perfect timing. I think now I'm a little weary of it because I have absolutely no leverage at all. So I think, as nice as it sounds and as tasty it would be, I think as of right now, I think it's just smart to stay independent. And honestly, right now, you can thrive as an independent artist if you do it right. Absolutely. I think you really can. So I don't think I'd be ready right now. Because I want to learn those business things before going into it. Yeah. So, yeah.
Do you feel like there's any excess pressure on you to do it so early, or do you feel like I've got time, I can wait? I mean, with the success you've already had, you might feel like, you know, you're a grandma in the music industry. You know what I mean? Like when you do a lot of stuff when you're younger.
Yeah.
It seems, it's kind of weird when you get to, like, you know, I'm 28. When you get 28, that's 8 years from now.
Yeah.
So most people don't even have a music career for 8 years.
Yeah.
So when you are 28, that's going to feel like an eternity that's already happened, and you've already been through a lot. So how do you feel like, you know, how do you feel your career needs to progress? Do you feel like, you know, I've got forever, or in your head are you feeling like I've got to hurry up and I've got to get something done?
I'm very much so a mixture of the two. And it's more a matter of me going back and giving myself my own advice and saying, be patient. I think I think a lot of artists, including myself, we are so hungry for the success of things. And I think it's a matter of just being still. I think going back, if I had gotten The Voice when I was 15, oh my gosh, would I have died? I would not have been ready for that moment at all. So
I always say, like, you ever seen the SpongeBob episode when he's like, my name?
What is going on?
What is my name?
So I think I'm a Christian, and I think I fully believe that if and when it happens, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen. And I think as long as I ground myself in that, I could full on pull a Lizzo and like blow up when I'm 20. Who knows? Yeah. And I saw that, and I think it's puts a lot of pressure right now, more so, not so much because of the success I've had, but now seeing like these 15-year-olds like blow up, and I'm like, how are they doing that? Like, how is that happening? And I don't know how they'd be handling that. So I think that adds pressure, because there's a lot of spring chickens, and now I'm like nearing 20, and I'm like, that feels old. It does feel old, because I've done so much already, and I think it is very easy for me to be like, oh my gosh, I'm running out of time. Yeah. And seeing other people and seeing where they are now, and I'm like, why am I not? But I think timing is perfect. I really think it'll come when I'm ready, and going back to the different experiences I've had and being like, if that had happened any minute earlier, I would not have been ready for that. But thankfully I was. It happened when it was supposed to happen. So I think I'm preaching to myself right now, because especially this year, it's a struggle, because I was like, we were about to go on a tour, like things were happening, and then it just went, so I think it's just a matter of trusting and being patient with yourself. And yeah.
I mean, one person that comes to my mind is Justin Bieber. I mean, I think he was like 12 or 13 when like Usher had found him, and he had that song Baby, which has, I think Baby is close to the video that has the most views on YouTube ever.
Yeah.
And he was such a sensation for a stint, and then all these like character issues came into place, and then to me, I feel like his last album was like him coming back out.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how old he is. He might be my age, like 28 or so. Yeah. But I feel like he's coming back out to the public as like, it's still Justin Bieber, but like it's like a new Justin Bieber. Like he's married.
Yeah.
And I feel like
he's grown up.
Yeah. He's definitely more mature, more grown up, and it's like he's having to restart his career, but I mean, he's not fully restarting. Yeah. He's got, it's Justin Bieber. But I feel like he's restarting his career, and at his age, just it's kind of wild. But that's always I feel for people like you who are your age and have had success, because it's like you probably feel like I need to start,
feels like
I need to blow up.
Yeah,
I need to go viral.
Hands down.
But
hands down.
You've got so much time. Like,
people get telling me that.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I remember I sat down with my mom, and the voice was spectacular. I will always be so thankful for that experience. But you come home and you hit gravity very, very quickly. And I came home, and I remember it was honestly the worst first gig I could have played coming back home. Like it was not a good gig. It was at a bad venue. It was with bad people. It was bad sound. Everything went wrong that night. And it was the first gig back from The Voice. And I remember going home, and I just sobbed. Like I was just like, what is that? I was like, I went from here to I was like, what is going on? I was like, did I do something wrong? And I remember I would just sobbed. I was just like, this is insanity. John Legend, where did you go?
Answer.
Come here. You made the wrong choice. And I remember my mom at one point, she just was like, half of me, I'm so thankful you got The Voice. Half of me wishes you hadn't experienced that, because then I wouldn't have known what it tasted like. Yeah. And because now I know what that great, 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 beautiful high feels like to be on a stage and do that. And so it's such again, you go back to the support system, and you're just like, y'all keep me grounded.
Yeah.
And you just hang on to that. And hopefully, please, Lord, hopefully we don't do another gig like that. Hopefully we keep going up gradually. But
man,
yeah.
I mean, as like you said, it's a high. I mean, that's why
Such a high.
it's sad, but a lot of, even with Justin, like a lot of artists, they get on drugs and stuff like that because they experience these crazy experiences and then, but nothing feels like that, you know? And I listened to a lot of Joe Rogan podcasts and he was talking about how nobody, like, you know, they're all like a lot of people he has on are comedians. And he always talks about people will never understand what it's like to go on stage and tell this joke and you've got, you know, thousands of people laughing at this joke all at one time.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just this rush.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's the same way it is for like the music. Like when you go out there and you perform and you've got all these people, you know, with their it's dark and they've got their cell phones waving and it's got to be a crazy experience and it's that high. And if you go there and then you come home, this dog is barking like crazy.
He's saying hi.
Yeah. But if you go home and then, you know, you're out in LA and then you come back to Memphis, Tennessee, and it's just not the same. And so you're like, I've got to go back. You know,
hands down.
Book me another flight back out there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I felt all of those feelings. Still do. It took me, I would say, a good year, honestly, to get over that. And I eventually leveled off because, sure, they call it reality TV. Is it all reality TV? So I think coming back home and then finding, kind of grounding myself, getting to do what I loved, no pressure, no stress.
Yeah.
Really realizing, you know, other than this year, I was able to support myself doing what I loved. And that really was all I dreamed for. I mean, would a Grammy Mountain be nice one day? Yes. Are we going to go for it? Yes. But do I have to have it? No. I've always told people the ultimate dream for me is to be able to support myself doing what I love and not live in my car. Like that is just, as long as I can do this and not have to have a bunch of other side jobs on the side, which is what I'm doing now, I will be so content just doing that. So, it's you really, for anyone who's thinking about going into that, it's such an awesome opportunity, but you do have to make sure you're a grounded person and just make sure you surround yourself by those people that can really keep you steady during the before, during, and after of it.
Yeah. So what do you got going next? Like what's coming up?
That is such a good question.
You don't know? I don't know.
I mean, this year I have no clue at this point. I definitely have things floating around. I'm definitely still planning on recording right now, and I have a few songs I'm really excited about that I've written over the past few months, and I'm excited to see those come to life. And honestly, we've talked about social media a lot today. Just follow me, and I will keep you posted on that as I figure it out myself.
Go ahead and give everybody like your like socials and everything.
Instagram, I'm at Savannah Brister, SAVANNAHBRISTER. On Twitter, I'm at Savvy Brister, SAVI. Facebook, Savannah Brister Music. Same thing for YouTube. I'm on Spotify. All the musics. That's what I tell people. I'm on all the musics.
Do you have a link tree?
I do, and I need to look that up too. I think it's just at Savannah Brister on Linktree.
Is it your website on your Instagram?
Yes, and that honestly is the best way for SavannahBrister.com. Everything's on that thing. Yeah. Music, socials, the bio, the pictures, all the things.
That thing helps out a lot. Like a lot of people who don't have a link tree, I definitely suggest it and put it in your Instagram bio because people can just click that and then go to whatever.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's been great having you on.
Thank you. This has been fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And as I said, anytime you want to come back and if you want to do another podcast or is there somebody that I should have on other than Boo?
Other than Boo? I would say, my pal Keith Peluso's thebomb.com, and he was on season 15 actually. He and I connected afterward. And he doesn't live in Memphis, but he's like, where is he? He's not in Atoka. He's He's near.
Close enough. Yeah,
close
right?
enough. He's close enough. But he is just such. I think you guys would really like talking to each other. He's awesome. My pal McKenna Bray, she's an awesome Americana artist, and she's really cool. Grace Askew is a really cool artist too. She was on season 4. So many voice people. It's like a big family now. We all opened up to everyone. But she just moved to New Mexico. But she is a spectacular artist. You need to look her up. I'm just listing off all my friends. Like you should go like this person, this person, this person. But this is cool. This is one thing I've gotten into this year a lot of just doing more podcasts because it's really just fun to talk about music with another person.
Absolutely. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you for coming on, and
thank you.
Hopefully we'll get to do it again sometime.
Yes, definitely.
All right. Thanks for everybody tuning in, and see you next time.
See ya.